I left my husband and baby because I didn't know what I wanted, and now I'm terrified of who I've become. I'm writing this because I don't recognize myself anymore, and I'm hoping to hear from others who've been the wayward spouse. After our wedding, there was a concert by my favorite band. My husband didn't come because he was down with a flu. I went with my girlfriends. That night, I met another man. We started texting every day. I told myself it was just a friendship and that I wasn't doing anything wrong. I kept it from my husband, and I justified that by telling myself I was protecting him from unnecessary worry. Around this time, I got pregnant, and the texting continued uninterrupted. Before our baby was born, I even met this man for coffee. I minimized it in my mind. I told myself it didn't mean anything, that I was still fully committed to my family. This was just me catching up with a friend before everything got complicated with a baby in the mix. This past September, things escalated. We met almost every weekend, even on my wedding anniversary, even when our baby had a dangerously high fever, even when my husband was injured and needed help. I'd escape away to a la-la land with this man and forget all the problems and routines I had at home. I know it was deeply selfish, and at the time I shut down the part of me that knew that. At the end of September, I finally confessed everything. I told my husband about the emotional affair, about how strong my feelings were. I admitted that I loved the other man, even though he didn't want a relationship with me. I also disclosed that long before meeting him, I had had a bit of a wild lifestyle. I told myself I was being fully honest, but I now understand how traumatic it must have been to hear all of that at once. My husband still tried to reconcile. He said he didn't want our baby growing up in a broken home like he did. He got angry at me saying how I could do this to him, to our baby knowing how much he suffered due to his parents. He set one clear boundary. If we were going to work on our marriage, I had to cut contact with the other man. I agreed. We started couples therapy, and for a while it felt like maybe we could survive this. Then the other man reached out again. Instead of protecting my marriage, I flung myself back into his arms. I convinced myself I needed to know if he loved me back. I chose to leave my husband and our 13-month-old baby to figure out my feelings. I moved out, leaving my husband alone with our baby, all on his own. I know deep down I didn't want to leave them, but my heart just wasn't there to stay in that marriage, to take care of a baby day in, day out. I still say I want to be friends with my husband. I've even suggested future family holidays together, assuming the other man would just have to deal with it. When I hear myself say these things, I can see how self-centered and unrealistic they are, but part of me is still clinging to the idea that I shouldn't lose everything. This weekend, while my husband is away, I was supposed to help take care of the baby. Instead, I'll be with the other man, and we're going to talk about whether he wants a relationship with me. I can feel that my husband is done, truly done, and I don't blame him. So I need to jump the ship, any moment. He's contacted a divorce lawyer. I've agreed to everything so far, but I can sense how afraid he is of me now. Like he doesn't know who I am anymore. Honestly, I don't know who I am either. I know I've traumatized him. I abandoned my family for validation, fantasy, and excitement. I keep telling myself I was confused, but at some point confusion stops being an excuse, and you end up having to take responsibility for everything you've done. I just really don't want to. I guess my question to you is, how do you accept that you may not get another chance, and that wanting relief from guilt doesn't mean you deserve one? I'm not proud of who I've been. I don't yet know how to become someone better. I only know that I can't keep lying to myself the way I have been. Update. I wanted to post an update because a lot has changed, and not in the way I imagined it would. This weekend, I finally had the conversation with the other man, the one I told myself I needed in order to figure out my feelings. I was honest about wanting to know whether he saw a real future with me. He was equally honest in return. He doesn't want a relationship. He never did. Whatever existed between us was never going to turn into the thing I built up in my head. There was no ambiguity left, no future to imagine. Hearing that forced me to confront how much I had been operating in fantasy. It was all in my head. Getting married, raising a family in my dream house, going on overseas vacations, all those were in my head. It was so hard to process the fact I didn't leave my marriage for something at all tangible. How pathetic was I? After that conversation, I made the decision to focus fully on my marriage and on repairing what I had broken. I was preparing myself to do the work I should have done much earlier. No more contact, no more divided loyalties, and no more avoidance. But by the time I reached that point, my husband had already moved on in his own way. I learned that while I was still oscillating, still asking for time, still trying to hold on to my AP like a lifeline, he had been preparing himself to leave. He's spoken to an attorney, gathered resources, and applied for his own place. He's been approved for a rental about 20 minutes away in a different school district and is waiting on the lease paperwork. I didn't know any of this until it was already in motion. While I was consumed with my internal confusion, my husband was doing what he needed to do to protect himself and our child. I don't get to be angry about that. I created the conditions that made secrecy feel necessary. Since then, I've been trying to stay grounded in reality instead of spiraling into either shame or self-pity. I've accepted that even choosing my marriage now doesn't undo the damage I caused or obligate him to give me another chance. The timing matters, and I waited too long. What's hardest for me to comprehend is understanding how unsafe I made myself to him. He's been playing nice because he's afraid of conflict, afraid of instability, and afraid of me. I created that fear. Even now, he's navigating this carefully because he's thinking about parenting plans, schools, and minimizing disruption, things I repeatedly failed to prioritize when it mattered. I'm also having to confront how destabilizing my behavior has been, not just emotionally, but practically. I've watched my husband step into survival mode while I remain focused on my own turmoil. The imbalance is undeniable and deeply uncomfortable to face. I don't know what the outcome will be. I do know that if I'm going to change, it has to be independent of whether I get another chance. That means accepting that my husband may move forward without me, that our family will look different, and that the pain I'm feeling now is not something to escape. It's something to learn from. This isn't the ending I hoped for when I left to figure things out, but I have to learn to live with that.